Hi guys. Last week I was like, I don't know what to do videos on anymore. I'm not getting any ideas, and I guess this week has given me at least something to talk about. So yes, I am back in my parents' house, back in my bedroom in my parents' house, and I have had an interesting week and a half. If you follow me on social media, Instagram and TikTok probably, and if you watch my Instagram videos, you may have seen some things that have been going on in my life, and there are birds outside. I think they're gone. Okay. Thank you, nature, for being here, but just for a moment. But yeah, the birds have made me lose my train of thought. Thank you for that. Yeah, if you follow me on social media, you may have seen I've not been doing so well. I also wrote it in a blog. If you want to read the blog, it is up now, and I will put the link down below. Just letting you know though that major content warnings for that post, because it goes into domestic abuse, domestic violence, it goes into mental health and suicide and death. So just letting you know, and thankful that my videos do not get monetized, because that would be demonetized straight away. Just saying. But yeah, it's down there. You can go read it if you want to know more about what actually happened and the suppressed memories that came back when I was writing my assignment, which I have an extension on, thankfully, for 2 weeks, because I have not been able to complete it. I finished the creative part of the assignment, which I'm thankful for. Don't know how I did that. I just, yeah, I was writing and the memories came back but didn't affect me. They didn't really sink in, because I think because I was, in the creative process and in the writing process, the effects of those memories weren't sinking in. It wasn't computing really until I actually went and left my apartment. I went to get coffee outside the university library, and then I realized, oh wait, I didn't remember that happening, and now I do, and I've just wrote that in my assignment, and I'm not okay. So I sat there and I was messaging some friends, and I was just fine, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me what actually happened, and dawned on me that, oh my god, that is horrific, and I don't know how to deal with this. So I phoned my parents up, and literally walking the side of the road, nearly having a panic attack, saying, oh my god, I've just, some memories have come back and I don't know how to deal with them, so I need to come home for the weekend. We were celebrating my brother's birthday too, so luckily I was going home anyway, but I went home a day early, and then I've been crying every night. I don't really know how to deal with everything that's come back, and it's so hard to think back about then. It was hard anyway, because I knew what I remembered. I knew the relationship was bad, and that it was, abusive, and incredibly toxic, and I was manipulated from start to finish. And yeah, it was really hard. But then having those memories come back just made it even worse. And I finally realized, no wonder I have never been able to have a healthy, stable relationship after that, because that was in my brain. That was the thing that was trying to get through, and that was I was protecting myself. And every time somebody tried to get close to me, I was pushing them away and then becoming incredibly needy and clingy, and didn't trust anyone who ever came into my life after that. And I still don't. It's very hard for me to trust people, but now I understand myself and I know why I was acting the way I was in relationships. And I'm not giving myself, I'm not scapegoating or giving myself an excuse, because some of the stuff I did in relationships was not fair on the other party. But now I understand why I acted the way I did, and I understand myself more. And yeah, like I said, I'm not excusing myself and my actions, because I was toxic. I became, like I said, very needy, very clingy. I then pushed people away, so I needed them to be, all about like me and our relationship. But then I also pushed them away whenever they came close. So it was like they couldn't win, I couldn't win, and sorry about that. And it was just, but I understand now, and I'm sorry to the people who I hurt in the past, and I doubt you're watching this, but if you ever do watch this, I'm really sorry that you had to be witness to what the state I was in, and how my PTSD was affecting me, and the fact that I didn't realize I had PTSD until a few years ago. And yeah, I'm so sorry to anyone I've ever hurt after in the past few years. And yeah, I understand now. I won't go into detail on this video about what happened. If you want to know, read my blog. It's not me promoting my blog, but it's just there. And it's really hard for me to actually talk about without breaking down, without having an emotional effect. I just can't speak about it without I'm getting emotional now, but it's, yeah. So the past week and a half, I've been trying to deal with everything that's happened to me and understand myself. And when you try to how do you deal with that kind of thing? I can tell you this much, I guess, but how do you deal with knowing that your life was ending and somebody was about to take it? I'm gonna cry. But how do you deal with that, especially when you forgot it and then it comes back whilst you're doing something that you love to do, and it comes back? And I've not changed my assignment though, because I'm keeping that in there. That assignment is one of the best things I've ever written, because of how my skills have progressed. So it's gonna stay in there, and I'm hoping to perhaps put that on my blog when I've finished, or sending it to a magazine or something, or a journal who maybe specialise in domestic violence awareness. And yeah, I never name anybody either. I'm never going to. You know, yeah, what they did was, I don't want to say unforgivable, but what they did was horrendous to me. And just sick. And yeah, but I'm not going to name anybody because I don't believe in that kind of thing. I think that's just vindictive, and I'm not that kind of person. So obviously, if you know me from back then, you know who I'm talking about, but now is the time where I stop giving them the benefit of the doubt and stop giving them respect and giving them what they never gave me, because I've always wanted to talk about my experiences, but I've always been too, I don't want to say scared, it's more of a, I've always had them in the back of my mind. How would it affect them, and how would they feel if they saw this video? But they shouldn't have done it in the first place. They shouldn't have treated me the way they did, and I know that they would have had the reasons and everything, but doing that, being so close to physically taking somebody's life, even if you don't realize you're doing it at the time, and the way it happened, like I said, you can read it. I can't talk about it, but the way it happened, I'm sorry, but now I do not, I don't want to say I don't care, but I'm not putting their emotions, their feelings, their reactions, I'm not taking that on board anymore, because that's not the right word. It's really hard to explain. Like, that's not going to stop me from speaking out, because I know so many people are struggling. So many people are in these like situationships and in these relationships, and they don't know how to escape, or they don't see any hope. And I am here to tell you, there's always hope. Look, I gave up in the blog. And that is what's affected me the most. Not their actions, not the relationship. I've coming past that all. I'm working through it. I've been working through it for years, and I'm coming past it, and I have evolved, and I'm not that person I was in any way. And the one thing that affects me the most when I think about it, and the one thing that's made me cry every night, is the fact that I gave up, and the fact that I was so unhappy. I had no hope. I was done, and I was allowing them to end me. And that's what's affected me the most, because I knew that I wasn't happy, but I didn't realize that I was that unhappy. And I didn't realize that I was so hopeless. Like, in myself, I had no hope. And I also see how I went from that to who I am today. I've got a degree. I'm doing a master's. I'm looking at, having a career. I'm so much stronger and more powerful. And I'm, may have been single for 2 years, but I don't even see that. Relationships now don't make me want to be sick. The thought of, opening up to people and being in a romantic relationship doesn't make me want to run for the hills. You know, I have so much love for this life that I have because I was so close to not having it. And I have love for just everything. When I sit, and I say this in my blog post, when I sit now and take a moment and just be in the moment, I see things with a different perspective now, because I see how wonderful and beautiful things can actually be. And I'm so thankful for the air in my lungs. I'm so thankful that I can be sat here and just living. And yeah, it's been hard, and it's really hard. You might be able to tell that I've been emotional throughout this video, and it's so difficult to think of myself that unhappy, that hopeless, and that sad, that I would allow my life to have ended at the hands of them. And I just feel so sorry for, I've kind of disassociated myself a little bit, and I know that's probably not healthy, but it's because I see me then and me now. So the Joe then, I feel so sorry for them. Like, I wish I could just go and tell them, look how amazing you are, and look at all the things you're going to do, and they aren't going to be in your life for much longer, and you have so much hope, and you're wonderful. And I would give anything to tell them how much hope they actually have. But hey, I got out of it, and I'm here, and that is the whole point of this, I guess. I know I've kind of rambled on for 17 minutes, but that's the whole point of this. That, look, I went from that to this. There's always hope. You can be whoever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do, even if the circumstances you're in at the moment are telling you, no, you can't do that. Trust me, there is always hope, and you are so much stronger than you actually realize. And your life is so precious and worth so much. Don't give up on yourself, please. Never give up. Keep fighting, keep pushing forward, and you will one day realize, it was all worth it. And I know it's hard, and if you're in that kind of relationship, I'm so sorry, but there's help out there. There's always someone who can help, and you can leave. You can. There are ways and means you can. You don't have to be there. There are ways. You can just... Yeah, I'm gonna stop because I'll just repeat myself. But if you've watched this all the way through, thank you. If you've read my blog, thank you. If you've reached out in the past week, it means so much. I may not have responded, but trust me, it means so much. I've been so overwhelmed, and I've been trying to move back to my parents' house, having to, do that, and that was just effort in itself. It gave me huge anxiety, and now and I've also had my freaking COVID vaccine and my second dose now, so yay. But that's, hurt my arm. I've been tired due to that, because it can, make you feel a bit ill. But yeah. And the moral of this story is, I'm still here, I'm still fighting, and honestly, to the people and the particular person who did that to me, I'm still here, and look at me now. look at me. And no, I'm not in your life anymore because that's your own fault. And I kind of wish them well, kind of, because I don't wish harm on anybody, and I hope they've got help because they needed it. And I hope this kind of reaches someone who needs hope. So I'm gonna go because this video has been long enough, and thank you again for watching, and I will see you again. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. I don't know what my videos are going to be, but we'll just see next week. I'm going to still try and get videos out weekly. We'll just see what happens. So